Welcome to Tweak TV. My name is Jacqueline Marie, founder of Tweak Style, and this is my very first resiliency story. And I'm a little nervous, but I hope that you find this really inspiring, and I hope that we do more in the future and get good feedback. I want to introduce you all to Ben. Ben and I met at a co-working cafe while he was studying for his medical board exams, and he really inspired me through the process and watching him go through some really tough times trying to study for the board exams. And recently, Ben graduated, so he's going to be a doctor soon, which is pretty awesome. So we want to celebrate that. Congrats, Ben.
Thank you.
So would you share a little bit with us about the whole story, the process, the ups and downs, kind of what got you through the board exams?
The board exams. Well, I was quite shocked when I was studying. This was in my fourth year medical school, and I had never failed anything before. And I got my results back, and I had failed my
It's pretty tough.
medical licensing exam, step 2. And I had to really think about my future, about, is this going to be happening? Am I going to be a doctor now? Because doctors are not supposed to fail their exams.
Like your whole dreams were just challenged at that point.
Absolutely. And do I want to take the hit and get back to the drawing board and keep studying? Or is it time to rethink my career and maybe go in a different direction?
Right, which is the smart thing to do, because you put a lot of effort, and if you want to continue on, you know what that's going to take.
Yeah.
Great. So tell me a little bit about, so that was one thing you did, which is really kind of look and make sure this is what you want. Now, what else did you do or what things in your life really helped you kind of go back and try again?
Well, I had a really good friend. It was you. And I was talking to you at the co-working cafe, and I remember I told you, because I felt safe telling you about my results, and I said, I feel really down because I failed this, and you just looked at me and you said, no exam is going to determine your worth. And I thought, wow, I am so much more than just a result of an exam. Maybe I had a bad week, a bad month, a bad year, but who I am doesn't change, and how hard I've worked up to this point doesn't change.
Exactly. Yeah, and I'm honored that I could have inspired you in some little way, for sure. And watching you like persevere and really work hard, you are awesome. And just sometimes we forget that, and I forget that too when I'm doing things and trying, and I failed many times in my business just in general, and so I totally have a soft spot for people like you who put their all into something and like hit rock bottom. So I had to learn the hard way too, is that your worth is not defined by your failures or your successes, and that mattered. So
it sounds good even hearing it again.
I know I have to remind myself all the time, so I think that repetition. So is there anything else that happened in your life around that time that really kind of confirmed this is the path for you, being a doctor?
Well, I really needed to think about why I got into it in the first place. And maybe it was a chance for me to reevaluate those reasons. And I thought back to the time when I was deciding to go into medical school. It was later in my university career, and my mom got sick. She got diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, and I started to read a lot about this and to take science courses in college, and that my path just started going in that way, and I really thought a lot about my family in this time, and that they had always supported me, and that my mom had always believed in me through the ups and downs of even
It's super powerful, the family
it.
believing in you. Wow, that's a really great story, and every time you tell it, like it just like inspires me so much, because like I couldn't imagine finding out a loved one was diagnosed with that, and like how can you feel helpless probably at that time, but you were trying to do something about it, which is so great. You just were proactive and contributing to that part of society, of like science, and
Yeah.
it's really cool. So what's next for you?
So, I'm applying for residency for the 2017 year. You can only apply once a year, and it's a long, arduous, year-long process. But in the meantime, I did get a job in a lab at the University of Illinois Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
It's a neurology lab, so
Cool.
that
Wow.
relates to the disease
Yeah.
that my mom has, and I'll just be working and doing research and studying a lot and preparing those applications for next year.
That's a really great story, and I really hope that it works out for you. And I have no doubts at all that you won't persevere and make that happen for yourself. So, way to go.
Thanks.
So, let's talk a little bit about the style aspect. And I know, now that you've passed your exams, and you and I had gone on this little style adventure, and we found your suit that you're actually wearing now.
Yeah.
Now tell me a little bit about that. Like, why is it that you felt personal branding and style could really help you in your goals in general?
Good question. I came to this realization that I just needed to get a suit, and well, I had known you, and you were into men's fashion.
Mm-hmm.
You had lived in Italy, and you had styled a lot of people in the past, and I thought, okay, I'm looking for something. I'm looking at certain stores, maybe department stores, but I wanted something a little more tailored to me, something a little less mass-produced.
Right, that it felt like you, and it was aligned with your personal brand. That's what I always talk about. Now, how do you think that makes you feel, or like put yourself out in the world? Like, do you think it improves? Do you think it stays the same?
I think it can change over time, but I think you need to know what the core of it is, and that can be your foundation. And for me, it's maybe one piece in my closet. It's going to be the suit, right? And we can add to it. I can maybe get another suit of a slightly different color.
Yeah.
But I know my cut. I know my style.
Yeah, and that's so essential. And I remember when we went looking for your suit, there were just some things you were like, I never thought of that, but it totally makes sense, and it feels so much better wearing a suit that fits you. And I remember you like saying that to me, and you just the body language when you put on the suit, you're just like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. You just seemed so comfortable, similar to how you are now. And it's amazing how people just feel more like themselves and in their own element when their style is aligned and really reflective of not only their physical body size or type, but also their unique personality, like the characteristics of a person. Or are you going to wear bold colors if you're bold? And are you going to wear something, subtle, but still a little fun? And I think for you, the subtle and fun, yet a little bit conservative because of your goals to be a doctor, really kind of, we meshed them all in together and tried to find a good suit that had like a modern fabric but still had a conservative, nice fit, and the navy blue, you can't go wrong. So,
Absolutely.
Are you interested in like upping your game and style moving forward?
Always.
Awesome.
And I think it's, for me, it would be about accessories, shoes, tie clip, what type of shirt, what type of cufflink.
Little details, right?
Little details, yeah.
Which I think the older we get to, and even in my own fashion, I realize I'm really having fun with the details. And it's no longer about the basics or essentials. It's like, oh, now you know who you are more. You're coming into your 30s and you're like, I know who I am now a little bit more. I know my goals. You just got through all your education and schooling for the time being, and you're just like, wow. Like now I can focus on those little details or little things about me that I want to express. So
Absolutely. I want to present myself to people as a professional, and
exactly.
who I see myself being in my career and my future.
Exactly. And then the next step for you moving forward when you go and apply for those residencies, they're really going to sense that you're confident and you know yourself a little more, and that you really kind of pay attention to the details, which is super important in your career, in most careers, but definitely in your career. So thank you very much for sharing your story.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you. And I hope that you all enjoyed the story of Ben, and we thank him for his time and for opening up and being vulnerable about his ups and downs of his process. And I hope that you watch future videos and comment below if you really want to ask Ben any questions, or you would like to have questions about future resiliency stories. We would love to hear it. So thank you so much, and have a great day. Cool.
Good.
Cheers.
You did great.
Cheers.
The hard part is over.
Hard part is